My very first question, you grew up in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm from Quebec City, Canada, and yeah, that's what it's what where it all started.
Right. Can I actually turn the air off because it's going to be loud?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
We'll just sweat it out for a little bit.
Well, let's start back on the damn thing.
Okay. Good. You're saying you're from Canada?
Yeah, I'm from Canada. I'm born in Quebec City, and
Okay. So were you a wrestling fan growing up?
well, I was in sport. I would play hockey, and I did some boxing, and then I did some amateur wrestling, and then that's what I decided. From amateur, I decided to try in the pro. And I had my first match in 1957. That's before you guys born.
All right.
1957, and I start to wrestle locally with some of the guys up there, promotion, independents, like most of the guys did in this business. We all start at one place, and I started with independent, and I couldn't get a break any place, from Quebec local guys. And at the time, Montreal was one of the largest promotion in wrestling. The name of the promoter was Eddie Quinn. It was like the McMahon today, in that period of time. But the guys who were the big star at the time was the French-Canadian guys, or Yvon Robert and Johnny Rougeau, things like that. Then it was very hard for another young guys to try to put at their place.
Right.
They want to hold it, say step aside, But anyway, make a long story short, I wrestled for those independent like this until 1963. I wrestled with Maurice Vachon, Mad Dog Vachon in Montreal at the Forum. And after the match, he said, "Why don't you go wrestle in the States?" Well, I said, "Maurice, first of all, I don't speak a word in English, and I don't know anybody." He said, "Hey, listen," he says, "I'm going to call Wally Carbo in Minneapolis, and you're going to go work up there." I said, "Yeah, do it that."
Right.
And I come back. I was married at the time, and then I come back home and told my wife, I said, "What about..." No, he said that then Maurice called, excuse the word, I passed over. Maurice called Wally Carbo, and finally they wanted the young guys and everything, which at the time I fit right the picture. And he said, "Okay, send him and tell him that he's going to start in September, like give me a date in September." And I told my wife, I said, "What about, we're going to Minneapolis?" I said, "Don't speak a damn word in English, both of us." That was the beginning of my career, of course. That was I told my wife, I said, "Listen," I said, "we go to Minneapolis. I tried for 6 months. We don't like it. I come back and get a job, do something, and go in some other business." I've been in the States ever since.
All right. Now, as far as your training goes, who was your mentor? Was it Johnny Mitchell? I think you pronounce his name.
Ooh.
Johnny, the one promoter that got you into the boxing training. What was his name?
Johnny Michaud.
Yeah, Johnny Michaud.
Yeah, Michaud. Yeah, he used to wrestle locally in Quebec. So and he was pretty good. They had some good local guys there, smaller guys, like you see today, like the little Mexican guys there.
Right.
With the size of that.
Right.
A few of them, they were as good as those guys. As far as concerned. And he were training. He was with that group there, and he had a gym. And I went up there, and I started wrestle and all that. Do some amateur wrestling plus the working the whole deal too.
Right.
Beside that, that's how I started.
Who was your mentor? Who was the one guy that really took you under their wing?
Well, that was Mad Dog.
Okay.
Because Mad Dog sent me in Minneapolis here, for as a pro. I mean, to make a career of that.
Right.
He said, "Go up there." He said, "You go wrestle there for 3-4 minutes." At the time, he was, during the time when I met him, he was in Montreal during the summertime. But for the wrestling season, he was going back to Oregon. That's what he was up there. And on the way to Minneapolis, that day I started, he was there, when I started, Did
you ever
say, "You stay here, they beat the hell out of you and everything, you can learn the business and if you know the Mad Dog, it's unbelievable. He said, "You come to meet me up in Oregon, you know." And but I used to call him all the time. I said, "Maurice," I said, "I can believe they give me a break here. I can't even speak a word in English. When I do an interview, I say, 'Oui, now, Monsieur, bonjour, merci,' you know, something like that in French."
I got over.
I got over it. I get unbelievable. People thought I was working.
Right. As far as your training go, did you ever get discouraged because of your size back then, or were you pretty much?
Yeah, I used to. What you said?
Did you ever get discouraged at all during your training?
Little bit, because I didn't know what direction I had begun going. I'm going to make a career with that, or just for 5-6 months or something like that. You know, not for. It's because we couldn't get any work.
Right.
You know, that's what we were discouraged. You know, like if you're going to take some young jobber that you got around and work for independent, you know what they do? They're pretty good. They could be as good as anybody, but you got to have the break.
Right.
That's what it counts, you know.
Did any of the older veterans ever try to shoot on you and stretch you?
Well, I got a couple of times. Matter of fact, I'm still, when you're talking, I'm deaf of this year here. I was wrestling with a guy's an old timer at Quebec. You know, his name was George Cagney. He was under that name, and he was pretty good, tough, and he learned the hard way too. And one time I was wrestling within a small town. It was maybe 50 people, and everything. He had me down, my face down like this, and he had my legs like this, like not a full Nelson, but he had crossed my legs and bring me outside. And I tried to reach him like this. He blocked my arm, and I tried on the other side. He nailed me right like this, an open thing, boom on my ear. I swear to God, it's like taking a radio, turn the sound like this, and that. So ever since I can barely hear from that ear.
Wow.
That's the only problem. Another time another old timer, an old miserable son of a gun. He get me on that. He said I gave him a potato during the match, and then he wanted to pay me back. He had me on the half full Nelson, and the guy was weighing about 280 pounds, and he put all his big fat ass on me on my back.
Wow.
Man, I thought it broke my back. I was sore for months after that, you know.
Wow.
That's about the only thing.
Okay.
Then after that, I could take care of. But it's not because I couldn't take care of me, because you want to be
Humble.
try to get in the business, you know. That's why you try to be on the paths, you know.
Now, I think one of your first matches was it with Gerald Dugas?
Oh yeah, Gérald Dugas. Yeah,
right.
That's it. Yes, I was in Quebec City. In 1957, that was my first match.
Wow.
Gérald Dugas. First of all, I was supposed to wrestle against Maurice Vachon. At that time, he was not the Mad Dog. He was under his name.
Right.
And something happened. He couldn't come to Quebec. Then he had a replacement. His name was Gérald Dugas. I wrestled against him. I was nervous as hell before the match, you know, and I had to go to the bathroom and pee about 20 times before the match, nervous as hell. I still remember what I did, and when I was getting into the ring, I was local guys, good-looking kids and all that at the time. This kid from one of my neighbors come on and asked me if autograph. I told him, I said, I'll sign it to you tomorrow.
That's awesome.
But that's not, everybody is about the same way, you know.
Right. Now you had a name early on, Buddy Rogers Jr., correct?
No, I didn't have that. I had that name. I went to Germany in 1972, 73, wrestled under, and I give the promoter my name, first of all, Rene Goulet, to Buddy Rogers Jr., the promoter, because Buddy Rogers was a big star, and Buddy Rogers, his name all over the world. Buddy Rogers Jr., and I used to do his gimmick in Germany, and they used to bring in the ring with music and the spotlight, and I'm doing the Buddy Rogers like this, like my hair and all that bullshit like this, and that got over good up there, love it.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.